Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your G-Wagon?
Yeah, it is.
And what do you do for a living, man? How are you able to afford a G-Wagon out in Houston, Texas?
I started a cybersecurity company.
How much money is that business going to generate you this year?
We're doing like 7 figures a month right now.
What keeps people broke in today's world?
Ignorance. And ignorance is not a demon, by the way. So I think for me, the way that you can collapse time is knowledge. The best decision that I ever made was I stopped making decisions. Everywhere that I wanted to go, someone had already gone. And so I just needed to find people who had already gotten there. Honestly, that's what I did.
What's been the best financial advice that you ever received throughout your lifetime?
Good things don't take time. I think that changed my life. And because most people would say it takes 10 years, 15 years to get to these heights. You can take 10 years and collapse it into one, getting around the right person.
Is this your Ferrari?
Yeah, it is.
What do you do for a living out in Houston, Texas to be able to afford a Ferrari?
I'm an entrepreneur.
And what type of business do you run?
I own a labor force management company.
And how long have you been a business owner for?
21 years.
And have you ever been broke before?
I think every entrepreneur has been broke before, 100%. There was a point in time, I'll never forget this. I'd actually made about $3 million that year. I think I was 28 years old. Every dollar that I made had to stay in the company, but yet I had to pay income taxes on that money. So I owed like $950,000 in income taxes on that money, and I had like $10,000 in the bank. You can make a lot of money as an entrepreneur on paper and be broke financially, personally, because every dollar that you're making, if you're doing the right thing, it's got to stay in the company to be able to grow it. It takes money to make money, like I said.
How did you get the money to start your business? Like, did you have a lot of money when you started?
No, we had no money. So you have to beg, borrow, and steal when you're starting it out. We had to take out high interest loans. I call it loan shark money back then. But I'm actually really glad I did it that way. I started out that way, and I had to pay those absurd interest rates because it forced me to have the discipline to not take the money out of the business. Now you can go to a bank, get a traditional line of credit at 6 or 8%, whatever's going on. And now you go from 21% interest on your capital needs to 6 or 8. You've probably got an extra $20,000, $25,000 a month right back to your bottom line.
Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living out in Los Angeles to be able to afford a Lamborghini?
I'm in artificial intelligence.
Have you ever been broke before?
Bro, I used to eat top ramen, Pop-Tarts, breakfast, lunch, and dinner from begging the Chase bank attendant to take $40 because I was negative $80 in my bank account, and I was trying to tell him to wipe it even so I'd stop getting these fees. It's the fucking real deal.
And are you a business owner?
Yeah.
How long have you been an entrepreneur for?
I started my first business 11 years ago.
And over those 11 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
40 million.
$40 million. And what keeps people broke in today's world? So you look at society as a whole.
Friends. Bro, friends easy, dog. I heard that quote, you are the average of 5 closest friends. I'm like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I look at my friends, all broke entrepreneurs. I'm like the 6th broke entrepreneur hanging out in the crew of broke entrepreneurs. Nothing against my friends, but I wanted to make $1,000 a day on the internet. Who am I hanging out with making $1,000 a day? Nobody.
Is this your Lamborghini?
It is.
And what do you do for a living out in Scottsdale to be able to afford a Lamborghini?
So I played in the National Football League for 3 years, lost all my money, and decided that I was going to be a business owner.
So you went broke after playing the NFL?
I did. My NFL money was gone in 2011.
So how long have you been a business owner for?
Since 2010.
Throughout your career as an entrepreneur, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
I'll do 20 million bucks this year. That'll be the most.
What separates middle class from wealthy people today?
Just their perspective on what's a lot of money, right? If you ask anybody that's middle class or poor, it's like, if you had one wish, what would it be? They'd be like, I want to be a millionaire. Wealthy people that have a lot of money, they would all tell you that $1 million isn't shit.
If you lost everything tomorrow, could you make it all back?
100%. That's why you see so many people lose it and build something 10x bigger. Like once you have the skill set and the mindset, it's like you could drop me in any state in America. If I didn't know anybody, I'd make a lot of money very, very quickly.
Now, among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait that they all have in common?
Desire. Think and Grow Rich. Everybody tells you to read that book. I missed this a couple times until probably I read it 4 or 5 times. Like you have to have a fucking burning desire or you're not going to go through all the stuff that you have to go through to reach the pinnacle of success.